Hey, this is Barack Lemires, and in this video we're going to continue our introduction to the Arduino by looking at how to blink an LED. All right, so let's think about the little knockoff Arduino we're using from this company. This chip right here is the AT Mega, and that's what has the computer on it. Okay, and then this board is the the Arduino UNO revision 3 form factor, and then this is how we program it, etc., etc. So if I/O refers to input and output pins on this chip that are also routed over to these little connectors on here. And what you'll see is that on this side of the Arduino, there's a strip and it has all digital I/O. Okay, and so what a digital I/O is, basically it's going to be low or high. Low usually means it's the lowest voltage in the system. High usually means it's the highest voltage of the chip that it's driving. So in this situation, this is likely 0 to 3.4 is a low to high, or 0 to 5 volts is a low to high. But what we're going to do is use this to drive an LED. So luckily on here, if pin 13 is actually tied to this little LED that's labeled L. Okay, apparently they didn't want to write it out, but it's just L for LED. And here's the little resistor on it. So all we have to do is actually write L, or excuse me, we just write low to this LED and it'll turn off, or high to this LED and it'll turn on. And let's just blink it at a common rate. And this will kind of remind us how, or this will show us how to set up an I/O pin and how to use a function called a delay to actually do that. All right, so I'm going to fire up my Arduino IDE. And so here I am, and it brings up this new sketch. And the first thing I'm going to do is save off this little fella. So I'm going to say File, Save As. And it brings me over. Remember, I'm working on my desktop and I created this one-on-one sketches. And now I'm in this one-on-one sketches folder. All I do is I give the sketch a name. So I'll call this 01 Blinky. And I'll save that. And it creates the sketch for me. And now if I go look in File Explorer what that did, it actually created another folder for me called Blinky underneath the one-on-one sketches. And in this folder, it's created the .ino file, which is the Arduino file. So remember, this is cool. You just create a new sketch, give it a name, it creates the folder for you. All right, so first thing we need to do is come up here, and we are going to do a setup statement in order to configure the pin of the Arduino on pin 13 to be an output. So there is a statement that is called pin mode. And what this will do is you simply give it 2 arguments. And actually look at what it tells you what to do here. It says it needs an unsigned integer 8-bit and an unsigned integer mode. Nice. I'll just tell you it also. So what you do is you list the pin number first. And so we know that that LED is on pin 13. And then you list either input or output. And you just put it all in caps. Okay. So this right here, if I wanted to put a statement, I'd say configure pin 13 to be an output so we can drive LED L. Okay. And that's really all the setup you need to do. So we do that once, and then we're going to come down into this loop. And what I want to do is I want to turn this on and off at a particular rate. So I'm going to come along and I'm going to do a new statement that is called digital write. So once you've configured a pin to be an output, you can write to it. But since it's a digital output, you can only write either the term high or low to it. So what you do is you basically go pin 13 and then you write either high or low. So I'll start by writing it high. And what this means is turn on LED, L, and then it's on. Okay. And then what I can do is I can come down here and I can do digital right, pin 13 low. Okay, and then I come over here and I comment to turn off LED L. All right, now that's cool. It's going to go on, off, on, off, on, off. The only trick is that it's going to go super fast because the computer's going to run as fast as it can. So when it's turning on and off, you might not be able to see the LED turn on and off. So let's introduce a third statement that is very handy, which is called delay. And what this does is that you just put in a number and it's going to attempt to delay that many milliseconds. So if I came in here and I did 1,000 in there, that would be a 1,000 milliseconds, which is equal to 1 second. So it's going to be very, very slow. So what I'll do, well, it'll be a second. So I'll do high then I'll wait for a second, then I'll do low, and then it's going to repeat. So I need to actually do another delay right here, and then do 1000. And then this now is going to be called delay 1000 milliseconds equals 1 second. All right, so here I am. Notice that when I created this new sketch, it already found my board and it already found my port. So like I said, we already set this up once. So usually if you're using the same computer for the rest of the semester, you don't have to do that anymore. But if you forgot which port this was on, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to plug in my board. Okay. So I plug that little sucker in and it's plugged in, and I'm just going to hold it like that so you can't see the the prior program. And so I'll come over here and I'll go port COM3, it's already on there, and I'll check for Arduino Uno. So if you forget how to choose your board, you go board, and then you come over here, Arduino Uno. So there it is. And then you go ahead and say, all right, let's verify this sucker and make sure that I got my syntax right, didn't forget it, didn't misspell anything. If I did, it'll come down here. And then let's go ahead and upload this baby, and let's go look at what's going to happen. So I come over here and I am now observing my board, and it's uploading. And oh my goodness, look at that. Look at L. On, off, on, off, on, off. So it's like 1001, 1002, 1001. 1002. So we did it. We were blinking an LED. Now a lot happened there. We actually had to create the mode for the pin. We had to know what pin it was on. How do you know that? Honestly, I just told you. The Arduino is pretty simple, and you can go like look at its documentation and figure out where the L was. And then we learned how to do a digital write, and then we did a delay, then we did a digital write. Another thing to notice is when you hover over any of these things, it'll actually give you the information about what that function does. All right, let's change one thing up. Let's make this run faster. Okay, so let's do this. Let's run it at 100 milliseconds, which is going to be 0.1 seconds, and that should be pretty quick. Okay, so let me save that. I'm going to do a Control S to save it. Go ahead and verify it. You can tell already that it's like when you know your code doesn't have errors, you just go ahead and do the upload, even though I said you shouldn't do that. Okay, so now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to wait for this to do, and this should blink faster. So there it goes. Oh, baby. Look at that. You see that? Look at that thing. Boom, 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 boom. And it is going, holy cow, you did it. All right. That's all I wanted to show you in this video. Just another way to kind of interact with the Arduino, and see ya.